I'm getting a lot of crazy reports from the community members. For example, remember when UPS used to be Prime and that meant like a day or two? Well, things are about to get much worse in the name of greed. And I can't talk too much about this topic on here because you literally can't. But the rumors going around with people getting emails like this, you'd think that the results are already in the bag. And I'm not sure if you guys have been following the Venezuelans, you know, the people that have been coming across, but allegedly they've now taken over a hotel in Texas. And you guys want to know what's happening to our communities? Well, I'm not sure if you've heard the news in Ohio. One community already seeing and saying an invasion of 20,000 Haitians, with some areas experiencing a 500% increase in tuberculosis. And I'm going to share with you what's going on there, because the speculation is not only is that happening to other places, but it's going to happen to a lot more. What you guys should be aware of, coming right up. My name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. If you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most of all, news and awareness, stuff that you want to know about, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this. Real quick before we get started, something helpful. They keep saying that we're gonna have a bad winter. They say we're gonna have more power outages than ever. A while ago, I did a series of videos on emergency heaters, some with almost 1 million views. We're talking setup and even which one's best to pick for you. Being ahead of the curve and prepared, if you guys don't have an emergency heat source for when that power goes out, I encourage you to prepare now. So with that, I'll leave those videos pinned at the top of the description and at the top of the comments so you guys can review those. If you've already got one, maybe you just want to watch the 3 secrets that I teach people about these things. Also, if you don't have a family-owned business to buy one of these from, which I recommend supporting first, even above myself, I'll leave Amazon links down below so you guys can get them before they're sold out. And that helps support the channel a little bit. And if none of that, at least give us a thumbs up, leave your 2 cents down in the comments for the community. And now let's get on with getting you guys some news and awareness. Okay, real quick before I tell you about the concerns in communities in the United States that you guys need to be aware of. First, community members sent me this. You guys used to expect UPS deliveries like Prime, right? We're talking 1 day, 2 days. Well, it might take a little bit longer these days. In what some are saying in the name of greed. On this news article under business, it says UPS is laying off more employees amid effort to boost profitability. Bingo, profit over people, right? So if what you used to get was Prime, which meant 2 days max back in the day, I remember it, I'm sure you do too. And if you're like me, you notice it takes almost a week now. In fact, put down in the comments how long it takes you to get a package these days and what you were used to. The Sandy Springs-based company announced broad job cuts earlier this year. So the warning there is if you're ordering things ahead of holidays, ahead of birthdays, ahead of an SHTF situation or a disaster situation you want to be ready for, you might want to be a little ahead of schedule on that. Another thing that I'm getting sent by viewers like you is this: get a health plan that fits your needs. Affordable options available now. These are emails that are allegedly going out to people already. And don't we see this after the election? After the results are in? It seems like it's jumping the gun a little bit. We'll call it K-Care. So K-Care, find out how to qualify for subsidized health plan for $0 a month. The marketing strategies, right? Definitely a way to get a lot of people's attention ahead of the matter. Another thing that you guys should be aware of, which some of you may already be, but I keep getting an influx of photos, videos, and news regarding the Venezuelan gangs. Lots of buzz about them taking over hotels. The crime involved is unimaginable. This just being one post that was forwarded to me. Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua have reportedly taken over a hotel in El Paso, Texas. It's getting crazy. The El Paso County Attorney's Office just filed a restraining order against the hotel. Supposedly, the owner has allowed illegal activity to go on for months now. Police have been called there over 700 times in just 2 years. Surveillance photos show 2 men in altercation and a migrant holding something not good. Now, if you've been staying up on stuff, this is not the only place. The help people are seeking, they're not getting, and the big factor is it's getting worse, not better. And I'm not even gonna mention all the buzz regarding what's going on with the animals. One person recently said it wasn't true. You guys can clearly go onto social media sites, look it up, and you'll see it all over in the news, and you'll get a lot of graphic images that show you that these folks are definitely targeting people's pets. Regarding the crazy concern of the tens of millions of people that are new to our country, and if you guys haven't felt the pressure from this, I think it's only a matter of time, because listen to this. This is a publication from a former Ohio state representative that I think is currently running for Senate. Now, I did some digging and actually found the verbiage on Facebook, which she states is where she found it. So I'll try to stay out of the way because she's gonna read this through for you because she does a great job. And then I'll post right over here also the text so you guys can follow along. But I'm telling you, this is getting crazy.
Hey, I just saw this on my Facebook page because I am fairly local to Springfield, Ohio. So I'm gonna read something to you. My name is Kyle Kaler, and I am a former state representative for Springfield, Ohio, and the Clark County area. I am currently a candidate for the state Senate covering Clark, Greene, and Clinton counties. Over the last 4 years, Haitians who are crossing the border or in fact flown to our country as refugees have been given temporary protected status by the federal government. Under the Biden-Harris administration, they not only are protected, but they are given between $600 to $1,600 a month on debit cards through the Refugee Cash Assistance Program and allowed access to all public assistance programs available to U.S. citizens.
Now, real quick to cover my bases. I have not validated these claims. I don't know if this is true or false, if they can state this. So with that, I'm just reacting. Do your own research.
Since early 2020, a temporary staffing company in Springfield started actively bringing Haitian refugees to our city. First a few hundred, then thousands. As of this month, our local Job and Family Services has registered over 20,000 Haitian refugees in our county and city. Springfield, which had a steady population of about 58,000, now has an additional 20,000 new residents in and around Springfield, 20,000 people in just under 4 years. Our public school system, with just over 8,000 students, suddenly has over 1,600 non-English speaking students. 19-year-old Haitian men and women are being enrolled as high school freshmen and are in a class with 13-year-old boys and girls. The staffing company that started this migration, in quotation marks, is owned by a man that has over 63 rental properties in the Springfield area. Instead of getting the normal $600 to $800 in rent each month, he rents cots for $250 a month to as many as 20 to 25 Haitians per home. He charges them $25 for round trips to work each day. They work under contracts preventing them from being hired full-time at their place of employment. This and the barrier of not speaking English causes them to become basically indentured servants, in my opinion. Since no one over the age of 18 requires a driver's license in Ohio, driver's education in Ohio, Haitians are allowed to take the permit test with an interpreter who basically gives them all the answers. Since permit in Haitian language of Creole is interpreted as permission, most never take the actual driving test. This means hundreds of Haitians who cannot speak English and have no idea what the driving laws actually say are now causing accidents all over their community. There are Facebook pages created by individuals dedicated to reporting accidents involving Haitians. The number of overturned cars being reported each day on the streets where the speed limits are 35 miles per hour or less would shock you. 1 year ago, a Haitian man pulled in front of a school bus, causing the bus to overturn, ejecting children, and resulting in the death of one 11-year-old student. Our county health department has reported an increase in HIV cases over the last 5 years. Based on our country health department based on their numbers, we will hit an increase at 871% over the previous 5 years. Nurses have confirmed that an entire wing of our regional hospital has nothing but Haitian patients being treated for HIV. A delivery nurse reports that 70% of all scheduled cesareans are for Haitian women who cannot deliver naturally because of HIV. TB cases are up over 500% for the same period. Our federally qualified health care, FQHC, called Rocking Horse, is overwhelmed with the increase of Haitians that are automatically qualified for Medicaid services. Our public safety officials have confirmed that charges against most Haitians who break the law are almost immediately dismissed because of lack of translators, meaning that the courts cannot provide speedy trial, so they are simply arrested and released. City, county, and state leaders are overwhelmed with complaints that they can do very little about fixing. Last month, a group calling themselves Blood Tribe marched past a jazz and blues festival carrying large swastika flags and rifles. Their leader showed up last week at a city commission meeting and publicly warned the mayor of impending savagery if he didn't stop the migration of Haitians into our community. Not cool. I told you I was bringing the bad news. Let me tell you, this is not about race. As a grandfather of 7 children, 5 of whom are wonderfully loved children of color, I can assure you this has nothing to do with the race or color of someone's skin. I understand that these folks are fleeing a hellhole of a country run by gangs. They are thankful to be here, but our community simply cannot handle an influx of 20,000 new residents who do not understand our language, our culture, our laws, and are being treated, in my opinion, as indentured servants. The bad news is that the current administration has allowed millions of individuals to come across the border and, in this case, even be flown into our country. Our communities in Ohio are only just beginning to understand the full impact of the last 4 years. Your community could be next.
Guys, it's getting bad. She goes into the good news, which goes into something that I don't really want to talk about on here for reasons you know why, but saying vote for the party that's going to help with this. And that's not the only place that's dealing with stuff like that. We're getting lots of warnings from a lot of respectable people saying that this is going to get worse. And I thought that example was a perfect example for you guys to hear on just how bad it can get, because some places are a little bit ahead of the curve than others. I'll cut it off there. Again, if you guys are looking to be ahead of the curve on this winter, it's going to be here before we know it. Got some educational videos there and some links if you need them, so you guys can have what you need before you need it. Got a lot more coming down the pipe. As always, keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.